reasons to lose faith in it too, but this is about their religion. From the 2021 census data, it says people under 40 in England and Wales are becoming non-religious. That's the term they've used, non-religious. More people are declaring themselves to be non-religious than being Christian. And this has never happened before. The UK's dominant religion has been Christianity. It has been pushed to the second place now. The first place is the non-religious category. Let me show you the numbers. More than 50% of those in their 20s say they're not religious. 10 years ago, this bracket was 37%. For the last 2 decades, Christianity came out on top as the most followed religion in this country for every single age group, but that has changed now. There are around 9.8 million Christians in the UK, aged under 40, 9.8 million. Another 13.6 million people say that they do not identify with any faith, with any religion. Nearly 3 out of 10 people who identify themselves as Christians are 65 years old or above. The age of the faithful is even higher in Wales. Researchers say that even those ticking the Christian box are not always the practicing ones, and some don't even espouse fundamental beliefs. Like Jesus, the Son of God, was a real person who died and came back to life. So why do they identify themselves as Christians? Because they were Christianed, or because their parents are Christians, or because they went to a Christian school. It could be any or all of these reasons. And while the church may be somewhat taken aback by these figures, they don't really come as a surprise. The message from these numbers is quite clear. Britain can no longer be called a majority Christian country. This is thanks to the rise of the non-religious group. And that's in stark contrast to a country like India. 97% of Indians say they believe in God. And around 80% of people in most religious groups in India say that they are absolutely certain that God exists. Ours is a country that practices multiple faiths. In the US, a Christian identity was a very common one, as recently as the early 1990s. Back then, about 90% of adults professed to be Christians. In a Gallup poll last year, 81% of Americans said yes. They said yes when they were asked, "Do you believe in God?" In the 1950s and 60s, this figure was 98%. It's still relatively quite high. In recent years, religious disaffiliation has been snowballing. Migration has a large part to play in that. About 1 million immigrants come to the US every year, and 1 in 7 people in this country was born elsewhere. Do you know which are the most religious countries in the world? These: Saudi Arabia, Israel, Iran, the UAE, and India. And now take a look at the least religious countries and regions: the Czech Republic, North Korea, Estonia, Japan, Hong Kong. Is faith losing its connection with Generation Z? In the UK, it certainly is. The young are fast losing their religion and don't seem to be regretting it. But in countries like India, religion remains an integral part of life. Well, that's one trend we're thankfully in no danger of importing anytime soon.